Hey, I'm Vicky from the UK Friday Hip Hop Report, and today we're going to be debating why Kevin J was booed off stage. Can you tell us a bit about it, because you were actually there?
So he was invited there to be the warm-up act for the actual awards show. He starts doing these African accents, Jamaican accents, and the jokes were really bad. And he goes into the riots. There's this woman at the front of the stage, I think she was an actress, and she's just saying this is disgraceful. The jokes are really not very sophisticated for the type of crowd that goes to the Screen Nation. You have to remember the Screen Nation is supposed to be the black Oscars. So if you're going there, you need to come with, you know, sophisticated material that's good for that audience. But he came with the same kind of stereotypical fufu and rice jokes, and it was just really, really bad. The woman started heckling him. He was like, excuse me, I've been invited here to perform. She didn't care. She still kept going, which got him irritated. So he went for the lowest common denominator and went for her weave. You've got more weave tracks in the Northern Line. That was it. The audience just went. Some man upstairs was like, get the fuck off my stage, you're boring, you're not funny. And he just had this sudden baptism of fire and started cussing out everybody and saying, you need God in your life, you need Jesus, God doesn't love you. And it was just really horrible from beginning to end. He eventually kind of walked off the stage, but before he left, he said, if anybody wants to see me, they need to come outside.
I feel like there's a combination of a few things that went wrong. One, you could maybe look at the promoter and say, you've seen the type of stuff that Kevin J has done, will this be suitable for the type of event that I'm doing? Secondly, I think where Kevin J went wrong, it's like for me as a DJ, I could go somewhere, play certain type of music, and then play it somewhere else, and they could be really offended by the music that I'm playing. Maybe it would have been better if he went there and thought, this type of joke ain't really gonna run.
We just established as well, Kevin J is a young white comedian. Just so people get the understanding of him being on stage and doing the whole mockery of a Jamaican accent and a Nigerian accent or whatever. It's like, surely you must understand that if you're doing that to people you don't know, they might interpret that as offensive, even if it's not coming from a bad place. Would you make that joke to your friend's mum? Because I know I couldn't make a joke like that to certain friends' mums of mine. They just slap me on the head for talking that kind of stuff. You know what I mean?
I agree with what you're saying. The event organisers, you know, some onus needs to go to them, because at the end of the day, if you know your crowd and if you know what they're going to like in terms of entertainment, then you need to book accordingly then,
Comedians can be offensive. It's the cornerstone of a lot of comedy acts, and yet they do it right. Do you not just think maybe it was a case of him not being able to handle his situation at all?
I think every once in a while, like, you're not always going to get it right. Anybody that says anything, even if you're laughing too loud, a comedian is going to point you out and then start talking about your
weave. But you as a white comedian, you're going after a black woman, you're talking about her weave, you're going to get booed. It's already going badly as it is. It's like, okay, you need to kind of reevaluate what you're doing here.
But you know what? You're right in a sense, but you may only get booed if you're white. Though. Kojo could have done exactly the same thing.
Do you know
it might be funny.
I've been in predominantly black comedy clubs in New York. I've been one of the only white people sitting at the front. Straight away I'm a target.
Yeah, but don't forget, they weren't at a comedy show. They were at an awards ceremony. They weren't there for comedy, but
he did an interview with Screen Nation. They've since taken it down off their website, and he said he didn't mean to offend anybody.
If I tell a girl that I'm cool with that she's got a busted weave, she knows my intent. She knows it's not coming from a racially biased place or whatever, and his intent might not be coming from that either. I'm sure it's not.
Well, but being defensive, it sounds like there was a race card being played. No, it wasn't part of his jokes. It was a retaliation.
Yeah, it got real personal. He more worries about a certain particular kind of young black people. And my thing is, that's great, but that's like 25% of the guests that are there, and the fact that you are in that mindset that you're only going to cater to them, of course you're going to fall.
The younger generation, whether black or white, are going to see the humour in it for the most part. So I don't think that there would have been many 21-year-old black people in that crowd who might have been offended. The younger generation kind of, they understand that culturally these things are a lot more across the board than what it was maybe 20 years ago. But you're dealing with a crowd, you're talking about 30, 40-year-olds up.
You can't go there just thinking, I'm only going to perform for this crowd here, forget everybody else. That was me, and I paid my £80 to go there, and you're disregarding me as an audience member. I'm going to cuss you out too.
So does anyone actually feel sorry for Kevin?
No.
I'm not sorry for him, because that's quite patronising to say I feel sorry for him. I don't really know his work like that, but from what I've heard, he's good at what he does. He's a funny comedian. I genuinely don't think any of his jokes or anything that he was saying came from a bad place. I think it was purely just a misjudgment on his part, and he paid quite a severe price for it.
He could do 100 shows and 99 of them would be good. I think it was a bad experience on his part. part, a little bit of inexperience as well. I'd put him back in that same situation again. I'd like to believe that he'd learn from that and come with something totally different. As you said, it's a bit patronising to say I feel sorry for him, but it's just a learning curve for him, isn't it?
It's a huge event, a time for a learning curve.
I don't feel sorry for him. Like, he did what he did. He could have just kept it moving, and he just lost his cool. He should just think about what he's doing next time, rather than thinking because it's a group of black people, they will accept me the way the other group of black people accepted me last week. It doesn't work like that.